Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
I
Hello.
am just finishing up a bite of food. Sorry about that. I knew it was coming. I was just chewing as fast as I could, but you don't want to choke yourself. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to Tellman and Fellman Show, episode 67. My name's Harris Fellman, and that gentleman over there.
I'm Tellman Knutson, and we're here today with the elephant god, Ganesh Makam. Makam? How do you say it?
Makam.
Makam. So Ganesh and I have known each other for a little over a year. I'm going to read his bio, but then you're going to hear the truth. And so the bio is the truth, but it's not the meaty truth. It's not the whole truth. It's the public truth. Ganesh Makam is a marketing strategist for coaches, consultants, authors, and speakers specializing in installing AI infrastructure to transform their businesses. By leveraging conversational AI bots, Ganesh helps clients to nurture leads, streamline sales funnels, and boost revenue through automated systems, lead generation, and email marketing. His expertise in sales funnel creation. His expertise includes sales funnel creation, upsells, and partnerships. Ganesh has generated over $1 million for authors and propelled businesses to Amazon's top lists. Outside of business, he enjoys hiking and listening to audiobooks. Welcome, Ganesh, to episode 67 of the Tellman and Fellman Show. Ganesh, you're an interesting dude, and we're going to get into AI and your lead generation stuff and all the madness, but I really would like to share, let's go into your origin story first, and then we'll talk about how we met. But it was like I had a vision of Ganesh before I met him, and it was crazy. It was kind of like a spiritual calling. It was a little weird. So we're going to tell you guys about that in a few minutes. But Ganesh, talk to us. Like, who are you? What are you all about? How the heck did you discover marketing and entrepreneurship?
Excellent. So I got started in 2016 in marketing and funnels, automations, and everything. Before that, I have long corporate experience for over 12, 13 years. So, yeah, combining my corporate experience plus the marketing, here I am. So, how I got started in marketing is I was looking for ways to be more uh, independent compared to like a 9 to 5 job or something.
Hold on. What kind of
What did you do in corporate?
What type of corporate stuff were you doing before you stumbled into marketing? Really, the stuff.
It was IT, mostly business analysis, bridging the gaps between business people and techie people. So techie people don't
So you're
understand
kind of still
business.
doing the same thing. That's
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
So I got started in the marketing space just because I had a fantastic event myself. I was relying on somebody else for marketing. The event was called Go Sustain. It was about inspiring people into eco-friendly, sustainable lifestyle.
Oh, cool.
Um, this was in London, in London Metropolitan University. Had about 80 people show up to the event, and it was hard to bring people into like a physical space for a 1 day event. And it was a low ticket event. It was like something like 45 quid. And it was so hard to get 80 people into the room. And I was relying on other people to do the marketing and whatnot. But mostly, what worked was like my uh, word of mouth and actually picking up the phone, ringing people, groups. That's its everything. The actual Facebook marketing and everything that failed terribly. But even still, I got 80
This
people.
event you were doing, was this an entrepreneurial venture, or did you have a full-time paycheck and you were organizing the event?
It was my event. It was not about entrepreneurship. It was about sustainability and
But it was
eco-friendly
your
lifestyle.
event that you were
It wasn't
throwing
about
out.
entrepreneurship, but it was your business. It was your event.
Yes,
And it was
it was
related
my
to
event.
you were looking to attract other people in the corporate people to pay to come learn about sustainability.
Absolutely. There were other people who are experts in their industry, I mean, in their lifestyle, leading an eco friendly and a close to nature lifestyle. So I wanted to share more of that to the world. So I put up
Dude,
an event.
Ganesh, I had no idea that you were into that stuff. I I've studied intentional communities to a certain degree, not internet communities, real intentional communities. And there's actually, are you familiar with Findhorn in Scotland?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so Findhorn has a cousin or a sister community, um, less than an hour drive from where I live in Vermont. It's in Massachusetts. It's an eco village that's been around since the 70s called the Sirius community, like the star, the Sirius. And so I've been there several times and know a bunch of people that live down there. So you should totally come to New England and we'll go visit the Sirius community together. We should talk about that more
Love
later.
that.
That would be a fun
Absolutely.
trip. All right.
Sounds like a cult, but that's a topic for our conversation with another person.
Yeah,
which
we'll
did
invite Colin to come, Colin Terrio to come and join us. It'll be great.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you basically, like many entrepreneurs, started down the road because you needed it for yourself.
Absolutely. So I thought, okay, why is it so hard? Why are people struggling to do this? So I thought, okay, there's a gap here. I love doing this stuff. I've been doing it for corporates. Now why not do it for small and medium businesses, local businesses? So that's how I got in. I used to build websites for other people anyway, websites and funnels and stuff a little bit. But seriously, I got in then, uh, as a lifestyle sort of business, and I've been loving it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
nice. Cool. So 2016, that was kind of 2016-ish, right?
Yep.
You got into doing local events was it in London
Yep.
for entrepreneurs?
Uh, yeah. I mean, sustainability perspective events and stuff, and then I started helping other coaches, consultants, authors, anybody who is an expert in their industry. I started making funnels for them, automations and stuff, systemizing their
Well, how did
businesses.
you jump? Hold on. How did you jump from doing sustainability workshops and seminars to building funnels and automations? That seems like a big jump.
Well, I needed marketing for my own sustainability event, and I was relying on other people, and they were failing terribly.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, there's a gap there. I could get good at this. I love tech and everything. I have been in the corporate space. I have the people skills.
So what were you
So why
setting the
not build
funnels up on back then?
click funnels, a little bit of groove funnels, but mainly click funnels. But
Yeah.
then since the last 3 years or so, I've been mainly on go high level.
Yeah.
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 And
I figured.
and so what did you find as you started doing this for yourself and then you started doing it for other people? What did you actually find that people would pay you to do for them? Like what would they actually give you money in exchange for?
It was mainly the systemization of their entire business, making funnels that convert, not just websites or funnels that websites that convert. So that was the key thing that I started focusing on, and people started referring me to other people and stuff. Repeat clients started coming in. So
So
yeah,
you were building
Did you also
you were building funnels.
yes,
All right.
you were building funnels, but that includes email follow-ups and stuff like that as well,
yep,
right? Yeah.
yep.
So sequence.
Copy, the graphics, the funnels, the backend automations with nurture sequences and things. Yeah.
Okay. And then well, I guess we introed you by saying that you kind of do that now with AI. Yeah.
Yes, I use
So
a
that
lot of AI these days. Yeah, for pretty
yeah.
much
So
everything.
how did you when was your AI awakening?
Oh yeah, this was when ChatGPT came out. The very month it came out, I started heavily using it and started incorporating it into my businesses heavily, and started offering it as uh, within various offers that I had, and started putting it into like emails, and lead gen. So since the last 6 months to about a year, So started offering it as service, also service, or the tools that are required to do a lot of the heavy lifting with in terms of lead gen and lead nurturing.
Do you have
Right.
your own? Do you have your own tools, or you just integrate stuff into high level?
It's mostly integrating all the best tools out there with high level, and yeah, I mean, we don't need to reinvent the wheel, is what I feel, because there's lots of really good AI stuff out there. Just need to configure it to work the way we want it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what are you doing with AI now?
Okay,
Oh,
two
hold on,
things.
hold on.
One
That's
is
present. We jumped ahead. It's too far.
Oh,
Well, I guess we can jump ahead to present, and then we'll circle back to how we met. Go ahead. Yeah, just jump into
oh,
it.
wait, no, no. Let's do that. Let's talk about how you guys met, and then we'll come back to present.
All right. So this is a crazy story, right? So, um, so I was having dinner at my girlfriend's house. All right. And I just finished telling her like this really intense emotional story. I'm actually in Florida right now. I'm visiting my sister and my brother-in-law and my niece and my nephew. I brought my kids down and we're here with my dad for Thanksgiving. So we're having this big family thing in Florida right now. And I had just told my girlfriend this story about my childhood with my sister in this like really emotional, like super intense story. And it made me cry when I was telling it to her, which was a little weird because I don't know. I mean, it's not like I never cry, but I don't usually cry when I'm telling a story or something. And so I told her this story and I found myself getting really emotional. And we were interestingly enough, on our way that evening to a drum circle that was being held by a friend that I hadn't met, or at least I didn't think I had met. I hadn't met. And so what happened? I went to the bathroom. We were eating soup. I went to the bathroom. I had to pee, and I was standing up. I mean, I'm giving you a lot of detail. I was standing up. I closed my eyes, and in front of me there was a blank yellow wall that was the real wall, right? It was a blank yellow real wall. And I closed my eyes, and I'm not a very visual person. I don't normally even like remember my dreams all that much. I'm not primarily visually oriented. Like that's my weakest sense. I close my eyes and it's black, right? And I got this image, like a square image, like on a poster, almost like a large poster of the Hindu elephant god. Okay, and except when a photo looks polarized, right? It looked like that, right? All the colors were reversed in a polarized fashion, and I was like, weird. And so, I'm not that familiar with the Hindu gods. I'm a little bit familiar, but not. I couldn't name them, or at least then I couldn't name them, any of them. Really, I didn't know them that well. I went to college with a guy named Hanuman, but that's about as far as I could go. And so I heard the word Vishnu or Vishna in my head with a V, Vishna, or Vishnu in my head. And I saw this image of this polarized elephant god. And this is very unusual. This isn't like this. Like I don't have a dozen vision stories or something. It's very strange. And I noticed that, and I don't know if I told my girlfriend about it or not in the moment. But we finished eating dinner and we rushed off to the drum circle, and we got to the drum circle, and we had a very hard time finding it. It was a little weird, and then it turned out to be in a barn that was in the process of being converted into a pickleball court in Vermont, because pickleball's trending apparently. And so there's this old guy, this old kind of hippie looking guy that like came out to greet us. And I introduced myself, and he's like, "Oh, Tellman, I know you." I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't know if that's good or bad. And he goes on to tell me that he knew a guy that I had gone to college with, whose name is Teal, and Teal spent a great deal of his childhood in India, and because his parents were in a some sort of a spiritual religious commune, conclave, cult, something or other, you know what I mean? Call it what you will. Studying probably Hinduism in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. It could have been meditation. But anyway, he as a young boy, he had spent a lot of his time growing up in India. And the guy that I went to college with him, and for a brief time, he was the chief operating officer for my company quite a few years ago. And Teal and I hadn't spoken in a long time because we had a pretty bad falling out. And this guy who's probably in his 70s says that he was Teal's teacher in India. I thought he meant spiritual teacher. Turns out he was a science teacher. But I thought at the time he meant spiritual teacher. And I was like, weird. But he's like, in India. And I had just, 15 minutes ago, I had a vision on the bathroom wall of this Indian elephant god, right? So I was like, India? Weird, right? I was like, okay, little synchronicity going on here, but let me not be too weird about it. And so I didn't say anything. And I went in, and we were the only people that showed up for the drum circle. So there's this giant, weird, half-constructed pickleball court inside of a giant barn with this guy that had known about me and run Tellman Run and had heard stories about me for years from Teal, because he was like one of Teal's like lifelong mentors. And now this guy lives in Vermont, and Teal, I went to college in Vermont, and Teal used to live in Vermont. And so this guy who knew who I was, and I live in a fairly small town, so you know, whatever. We ended up beginning the drum circle, and I had what turned out to be some kind of crazy panic attack. Okay. And this doesn't happen to me. All right. My heart started racing, like the blood rushed into my head. I felt super dizzy, super uneasy. And I thought I was having a heart attack. And 3 minutes into the first drum circle song, I like had to lay down on the ground, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, I thought I was going to die. And my girlfriend drove me to the ER, which was about 25 minutes away. And I didn't die. And no, and you know, they did every test on me they could possibly think to do, and some kind of panic attack happened, and I was like, whoa, it was really intense. Like it felt like near-death experience, you know. Yeah, so you know, so anyway, all this happened, and it really left a mark. Like, it freaked me out. I was like, what the heck? And then about 3 months later, I'm working at my house in Vermont on internet stuff, doing all my things, and I get a message request on Facebook. In the meantime, I had looked up the name of the elephant god. The elephant god's name was not Vishnu or Vishna. It was Ganesh. And I get this Facebook message request.
Is Ganesh an avatar of Vishnu or no?
No, different god altogether. And you'll hear about, there's more. And so then what happens is I get this message request on Facebook, and I don't even normally look at my message requests. I mean, I look at them maybe once a month or something, maybe less. And they're almost always from people who are bothering me that don't know me, that are just trying to sell me something. And that was probably true in this case too, actually. And but it was from Ganesh, and I was like, all right. Then I saw that we had like 54 mutual friends on Facebook. I looked up his profile, and I was like, oh, this guy maybe he's a real person. Maybe he isn't just a spammer. Maybe we actually have real friends. Maybe he's legit. Sure enough, 54 like real friends on mutual friends on Facebook. And there were people that I know, like Ganesh is friends with people that I've known and spent time with and made money with. And so I was like, oh, huh. And so I accepted the friend request. I engaged in the conversation, and we started basically meeting almost every week. And I told him the story fairly early on. And so we just decided to keep meeting and see where it led, because I wouldn't normally have like just said yes to a regular business meeting with some random dude that I had no connection to when we hadn't really figured out what the heck we were doing or why. But I decided to follow the white rabbit. And so Ganesh, the Hindu god Ganesh, is the remover of obstacles. Okay, the remover of obstacles. And that seemed relevant to me. And so we started meeting and talking. And then it turned out that a couple of months later, I was like, wow, Ganesh is really smart. I was like, he's a smart dude. He's also fairly analytical. He showed me a flow chart once, like a flow chart map of one of his funnels. And I was like, I totally want to work with this guy, because it was just so detailed and so well thought through. I just had a deep appreciation for your brain, Ganesh. And so what ended up happening was, I'm like, Ganesh, have you ever run traffic? Have you ever considered running traffic for anybody? And you're like, well, I have. And one client made like $500,000 or something. But I didn't run the traffic. Whenever I want to run traffic, I call my friend Vishnu.
Oh.
I was like, are you serious? I just like I fell out of my chair. And so anyway, we got on the phone with Vishnu and chatted, and I like Vishnu, or Vishna, Vishnu, right?
Vishnu.
Yeah, I liked him, but we didn't. Vishnu is not only a traffic expert, but he's also a college professor and university professor. And so we had a great conversation, and we only had that one conversation. We haven't found a way of working with Vishnu yet, or I haven't found a way of working with Vishnu yet. But Ganesh and I have stayed in touch, and I asked Ganesh if he wanted to be on the Tellman and Fellman show, and he made the lame excuse last week that he had a sore throat, so he introduced us to Brandon, and we had a great interview on Friday with Brandon, and now we have Ganesh here. So Ganesh and I met through spiritual intervention, and we haven't had any major wins yet. Like we haven't hit a home run. We've worked on a couple of little projects, but we haven't really like blown anything up yet. And so I know that was a long intro, but welcome, Ganesh. Really crazy story, and super awesome to have you here on the Tellman and Fellman show. Harris, feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to ask questions about how you had a spiritual awakening. Other than, Ganesh, does this happen to you once or twice a year?
Synchronicities does happen, definitely.
Yeah. With a name like that, I would think it must happen every once in a while. So let's get back to the show. What is it that you are doing now with AI?
Absolutely. With AI, so there are 3 different ways that I use AI. One of them is I help businesses that are pretty much early in the stages by installing them AI DM tools that can DM on Facebook and LinkedIn.
And what about
But the important
SMS
thing here,
too, or no?
no, not SMS. I mean, regulatory stuff. So Facebook and LinkedIn, it's pretty good because we can target communities or people who have a specific interest and stuff. The important thing here is the tools have AI conversational capabilities. So once the automation kicks in and there is a response, the AI can pick it up and have a conversation on our behalf. We would have trained it to speak like us and take care of them like us. And it can even book calls, sales calls. And once on a sales call, we can take care of them. So that's the idea. So that's one way of working with AI.
So
The second thing,
it's a chat based conversation that can happen in Facebook DM or LinkedIn DM.
yes,
That's great.
yes,
Yeah, we've had somebody else on. I don't think his did LinkedIn, but maybe it could as well. But correct me if I'm wrong. An initial message goes out. That's
yes.
kind of the same message, maybe with a little bit of a twist to it. That's not going to be AI created message. The first one, it's going to be. Go ahead.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's automation created, but it has a feature called rotator, so it's not repeating
Yeah,
the
it's
same
not
thing
every
every
single
time.
word's not the same, or every message isn't exactly the same because Facebook and LinkedIn ultimately wouldn't like that eventually.
And
And then you get a response from a human, and
Mhm.
and then it gets into a conversation with them right then. I mean, that's so. I'm doing outreach right now for Warrior Plus. It's an affiliate marketplace if you're not familiar, and I have an assistant, a human assistant, doing the initial message out for me, and then I'm like, you got to do it near my time zone because I need to be able to respond, and now and I'm really interested in basically somewhat of a conversation getting going without me. That to me is like the next. Now I don't know if it's I don't know how expensive that is or how easy that is for me to do it myself or what have you, but maybe that's not for everybody for that reason. But is it pretty affordable?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's much less expensive compared to having a VA even.
well, you
So
also have a much better offer for this now than you did even a few months ago. You have a much more a much more reasonable
Robust.
offer.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
said you do three things regarding AI. Sorry, Tellman, did you have
Well, I was
something?
going to say, like, all of this is cool, guys, right? But like, cut to the chase piece, I just happen to know. I want to sell a little harder, which is Ganesh's conversational AI tools books sales calls for you. Okay,
Right.
so the outcome is fill up your calendar with cold outreach generated sales calls that Ganesh's AI has done for you. So
And
like that's
where do you get the
that's the
leads
magic.
from? How do I know who? Oh, you just said go to a Facebook group about your content and then just DM everybody in that Facebook group 10 or 20 a day or something.
yeah, that's one way. Or you could uh, target a competitor ad that they are running. So everybody that interacts with that ad could be our lead. So there are various ways. Yeah, but
Okay.
the most popular
So
one is the Facebook group.
okay, I love it. I mean, this is something that honestly I'd like to get into helping people set up as well. Like this is that. So you said you do three different things with AI. So one of them is chat-based appointment setter, a DM setter,
Yeah,
as they call
DM
it on
based.
Tellman. DM
Yes,
setter.
DM based appointment setter. This also works on LinkedIn, by the way, and LinkedIn is pretty big. Not a lot of people use it. Um, you can send more than 200 to 250 messages per day. A lot of people think you can only send about 100 per week, but our tools can send over 200 per day using
Why?
some lesser known tricks. Uh,
Uh-huh.
you can you
Don't.
can you can approach you can approach people using free emails on services tab, for example, or other LinkedIn groups, right? Or even other events that you attend. So every event that you attend will get you access to all the people that are attending the event also. So let's say
Oh,
I'm
like a
targeting lead
LinkedIn
gen
event
related
or a
events.
Facebook event, you mean?
Yeah, LinkedIn event. Let's say LinkedIn event, somebody is running for lead gen. So I could be part of that event and access everybody that else that is also interested in lead gen.
Oh,
That's
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody else has done the hard work for me, sort of thing, and the AI just picks it up and has conversation with everybody. So
Right.
that's the idea.
Okay. So
So
what are
that's the
the other
first
ways?
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second way is driving traffic to a conversational AI bot. So paid ads, stuff like that, normal stuff. But the actual thing is, when somebody submits a Facebook form or a Google form or something, the AI can actually start a conversation with them, or the AI bot can ring them and ask all the qualifying questions, nurture them, educate them, and book them on
You're
a call.
saying ring
So
them
it's
from
also,
there, because it's not a cold outreach. You're not getting in
yes,
as many compliance issues because
correct.
they've submitted their phone number. So now you can either call them with a voice
Yes,
with a voice AI, or you can text them with SMS, or
yes.
you can email them and get a conversation going, or all of them. Like wherever they pick up, here we go. Right?
Yep, absolutely. And there is a voice drop that could be done as well. It's like they get a missed call sort of a notification, but it's actually a recorded voice. So that could be a
Oh,
potential
voice drop!
also.
I remember that from years ago. It was called.
Yes,
I use that in like the in the MLM space where you would send a broadcast
Voice
of
broadcast. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I used to do that in teleseminars all the time, before webinars existed, to reach out with voice podcasts, but it's been years since I have. Ganesh, I have a question for you. So, like, there's something meta that you could cook into this and when I say meta, I don't mean Facebook, right? There's something meta that you could kind of cook into this that might make it work better, right? So, whereas a lot of people are AI resistant, kind of like people are phone tree resistant. Like nobody likes a phone tree. Everybody wants to talk to a human. 0, 0, 0. Talk to a human. Talk to a human. Like, stop running me through the, very lengthy, boring phone tree. I don't want to talk to a robot anymore. So this type of as AI becomes harder and harder to distinguish that it's actually AI, this issue might resolve itself. But in the meantime, when you can tell that it's AI, one of the interesting things that you could do, since you're selling internet tools, you're selling automation tools, and you're helping businesses grow, is if you revealed to them in the ad that they were talking to an AI and you were there to impress them. Okay.
So I disagree with you. Because I have gotten into AI conversations now, and I know it's AI barely, but that's not the point. The point is
you're already.
I can ask that AI a question. It's not the same as a phone tree. I can ask it a question in English about the thing that I'm trying to that I express an interest in, and I don't have to deal with the human, and I don't have to feel bad if I'm like, you know what, although I do still feel somehow I'm like, I gotta let you go. Oh, but wait, one more question. Are you sure you don't want to set an appointment? I'm like, but whatever. But still, like you still like I've had a few test conversations with them, and they're good enough, but they're not so good that even I know that they're not AI. Not even I know. Of course, I know that they're AI because I pay a lot of attention to this stuff. But I knew I was testing out AI. But the point is that that's the big difference between the phone tree, is you're able to actually get into a conversation. Now, is it 100% of the people are not gonna be like boom? But you know what? Who gives a shit? Because how many people hang up on a human that calls them? So
what I'm saying, though, I'm not saying you can't use it in that scenario. What I'm saying is, if you're addressing entrepreneurs anyway, and you're communicating with them with an AI, having them walk in the door already curious about what your AI can do and what its capabilities are, and encouraging them to test it, and possibly selling something that is the AI solution. You see what I'm saying? So actually selling them AI that they're experiencing right now, if they like it, it's a natural connect, rather than AI just being an AI salesperson that's selling you lollipops or whatever.
Yeah, you're giving them a demo.
Yeah, you're giving them a demo actively. So anyway, something to consider, right? Hi, I'm
absolutely.
You could call your AI. You could call your AI Turing. You could call it Turing, and have them test it, right?
Yep.
Turing.
Test my
AI appointment setters, I think, are going to be the future, because they are very scalable. Because once you train it, it can handle 100 conversations or 1,000 conversations. So you don't need to keep hiring more people. So volume is not an issue, and speed to lead is like tremendous. Like as soon as somebody submits a Facebook form or a Google form or whatever, the AI just
instantaneous.
brings them.
There's no lag. No lag. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
So what's the third way? So the first way is DM appointment setter on Facebook and LinkedIn. The second way I already forget, so you're gonna have to.
It's a warm appointment setter when somebody.
It's a warm lead that you have a two-way conversation. Basically, yeah. I have a friend named Jeff Mills. We interviewed him. He has a product. I won't say the name since it's your call, but he has a product that I've tested it out with him that does that. That he's like, hey, go try this. What was it? It was like a vacation homes in Bahamas. He's like, go put your name in there and see what happens. And it texted me, it called me, it probably, I think it emailed me as well. I think if I pick up the phone and you and accept your call and talk to you, that you don't need to keep following up with me on SMS or whatever. But I'm sure that's something that he could tweak if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And then what's
Lots of customizations. The third one is very interesting, by the way. You fast track the lead gen process by skipping all the ad burning. Usually, what happens when you run ads is like 80% of the traffic. I mean, the ad budget is burned just to test out people. Like, hey, is this somebody who's interested? Somebody who's interested, and only those that show a little bit of interest, and then we do retargeting, and then they convert. So we're skipping all that 80% of the ad burn by actually going direct to something called keyword leads. So anybody that is interested on the internet who's looking for that specific thing, so we get that information straight away. The AI is doing all the heavy lifting by collating all the information, like through
that's
the ISP.
That's what we were talking with Brandon about, right?
Exactly. And in the back end,
Brandon was calling that buyer intent, right? So you've got access to data. I mean, we all have access to the data somehow, right? It's you can buy access to the data, which is here's somebody that visited your website and they have this buyer intent, or the other way around, right? Where it's like, I have this product that I want to sell. Who has this buyer intent?
Exactly. So Brandon's system gives us information like leads on the go. As soon as somebody enters something into Google, we have that information pretty much instantaneously. But in the back end, what I do and my team, we feed that into the pixel, and the pixel follows them around on the internet everywhere, showing them the relevant ads. So with running ads, only those 10 or 15, 20% of the people that actually are looking for this stuff, instead of going for the clicks.
So your Facebook ad, the audience that you build with your Facebook ad is based on that buyer intent data.
Exactly.
So you're not creating you don't have to create a Facebook audience of likely, what you think is likely, and burn 80% or more or less of basically, that's like phase one of most Facebook campaigns, right? Is I'm going to market to whatever 10,000 people, and 1,000 of them that view my video, I'm going to remarket to them. And you're wasting money with exposure to that other 90%. Now you're just saying, okay, it's the 80-20 rule, right? We're just going to market to that 20%. And how does that manifest in actual, like, is it an 80% savings? Is the ROAS, is the return on ad spend 5 times better?
Yes. So there's a lot of saving in ad budget. On this, at the same time, we are getting to the leads very fast, and we're easily doubling and tripling the number of solid conversations that the clients are having. So people are loving it. Once they try this, they never go back. They just want to keep pouring more money into this, because they were anyway spending that much money on ad spend. So why not put it into keyword leads? So
right.
That's
so where do they find out more about this? Because we've only got about 4 or 5 more minutes before Tellman's got to go, which is rare.
Yeah.
He's usually not the one technically rushing us off. It's usually me, but he's not rushing us off, but I am for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, authorityzen.com.
Yes,
Okay.
authorityzen.com. They can book a time with me.
That doesn't feel, I'm going to be honest, that doesn't feel very AI or lead gen or what have you. Where's that? Was that an old name that you're doing new stuff with, or what?
Exactly. That's always been my website. So it's just integrating AI these days for pretty much all my websites.
Gotcha. Very cool. Okay, cool. I mean, I like the name. It just that doesn't sound like leadgen.ai or whatever. I'm super interested for myself, but also, our next question is usually like, what are you working on next? Like, what are you concerned with? What things can we help you with overcoming for like what's next for you?
Sure, absolutely. I'm actually working with a franchise company. We're trialing out with their first store, and once we're proven with that, we're gonna launch it to like 400 plus stores. So that's gonna be really big. So I'm looking at other franchise opportunities potentially, or anybody that's running ads but haven't implemented AI yet. So that's gonna be a gold mine for them.
Who's your ideal customer, though? Who's your ideal customer?
Franchise, same as Brandon, right? A franchise
Yeah,
business.
local businesses, franchises, anybody that's running ads, but they haven't been getting the ROAS that they need. So we can definitely help them double their returns.
So it's like AI Facebook advertising to increase your ROAS.
Exactly.
Is there a market size? In other words, if I'm just like, okay, I'm going to use an example. I have a traffic company. Don't worry about how much I spend per month on ads. Let's say it's 5,000. It has been in the past. It's not right now, but that's not the point. The point is I found that people that want to buy email marketing solo ads, it's small. So is the market going to be too small that not necessarily even for you, but even to do the tactic of using the buyer intent data? Is there going to be enough of it out there, or maybe not?
Well, if you're already driving traffic to your website or to your offers, then I would highly suggest trying keyword leads. If ads are not yet in the horizon, then I would try the DM outreach solutions. So AI is still in the mix. So these three solutions cater to different markets, I would say. Yeah.
Cool.
Very
Cool.
Very cool.
So they go to authorityzen.com, and then what do they do once they're there? Do they book a call with you, or what's the process that they get involved?
Yeah, I've got some case studies there and some of my funnels on there, and they can book a call through that link. Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I just went to the site. I see that you and I both usually have at least in your marketing, you usually have a goatee. Yours is a little more thin than mine. But basically, I started shaving this part off today, and it kept going. And then I'm like, I guess I'm done. I also, because I'm only 5'4", I bumped my head on the. You see it on the counter. So I got blood here. I got blood. I'm bloody everywhere. Couldn't get around. But anyway, well, is there anything else that you'd like to add, Tellman, before we get going?
Yeah, there are two things I want to add. The first thing is Tellman Fellman show is pretty extraordinary, I must say. We just did episode 67. You're here for it. And if you haven't signed up to our email list, you're missing out. Go to www.tellmanandfellman.com. Enter your name, enter your email, enter your phone number, and you're going to get a list of all of our previous episodes, and you're going to get updates about all of our future ones so you don't miss a moment of the most extraordinary marketing talk show on the internet, the Tellman Fellman Show. So please join our email list. We'd love to stay in touch. And Ganesh, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you enjoy your experience today on the Tellman Fellman Show?
Oh, absolutely 10. So
Nice.
Love it.
And I know you already kind of did this, but I'm going to put you on the spot anyways. If you only had one nomination, you clearly have more than one, but if you only had one nomination, who would you nominate to be on the Tellman and Fellman Show next?
Oh, I would say Vinnie Wilson. He's an amazing marketer with a lot of AI experience.
What's the first name?
Vianney, Vianney.
Okay.
And
He's not a Hindu god. I didn't recognize the name.
what's his but what's he really great at?
He can do a lot of the AI stuff in terms of the conversational AI, and he has some various ways of integrating a lot of the things together. Yeah.
Sweet. Cool.
Automation
All right,
system.
rock and roll. Well, this has been great, Ganesh. Is there anything else that you want to throw in before we wrap up?
Oh wait, Ganesh, do you have are you guys set up for like a white label service if I wanted to resell the services to companies or anything like that, or no?
Yeah, quite potential. Yeah, we could look into that. Definitely open to partnerships and stuff. Yeah.
All right, yeah, maybe I'll give you a ring on that. That's really cool. Okay, so that's it. That's all we have time for because it is now the top of the hour, and I really appreciate you being here all the way from India today. And hopefully, when will you be back in the UK?
Oh, I haven't got a date, but yeah, it depends on some important meetings and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Whenever you're here, maybe we can get together in person. You could come see one of my comedy shows or something like that as well. It doesn't have to be a boring old business meeting. We can do something fun. Anyway, I'd like to talk more with you. I'll connect with you on Facebook.
Brilliant. It's been a pleasure. So
awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Ganesh. Thank you so much, Harris. And thank you to all of our Tellman and Fellman fans. See you guys. We probably won't see you tomorrow morning. I think we're taking tomorrow off. Well, we should see you Wednesday if the stars align and the synchronicities continue to happen. Alex Mandosian will be joining us. So it'll be great.
That's right. Yeah. The one and only. Wow.
The one and only. So rock and roll. Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Harris. And we'll see you all very soon.
All right. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Over and out.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.